Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout. Well, yesterday was the 4th of July, Independence Day, and you know what that means. It means that season 3 of Stranger Things has been uploaded onto Netflix, and I cannot be more excited about it. Last night, after the fireworks, I checked out the first episode titled Susie, Do You Copy? And let me tell you, I could not have been happier with it. So let me just do a quick rundown of what happened. I'm not going to try to spoil it for you, but I really enjoyed how this first episode of this season set up all the characters for what is going to happen, and it is going to be a lot of drama and suspense. So I'm excited about that. Number one, we got Joyce. Joyce is feeling lonely now that Bob is gone. Bob is a character that I really loved in season two. Um, I mean, just a lovable guy. So much they could have done with him. When he died, I was just like shocked. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going to be the new staple of the series, but it was really sad. So she's kind of getting through, eating dinner alone and just kind of the warm memories that she had of him. Lucas and Max, their little romance is still blossoming. There's a little bit of tension back and forth between the two of them, which is very typical for a teenage romance. Lucas, young guy, says the wrong thing sometimes, but he means well. And Max is always busting his balls. She's a little spitfire, so I really gotta love her. Will is still experiencing some strange connection to the upside down, even though he's been totally exorcised of that evil entity from the upside down. He still feels like the energy of it, and he can tell that it's not completely gone, at least from our world. There's something else out there, and it's not good. 11 and Mike romance. These two little people. Holy, I mean, the amount of making out in this episode, I was just like, what? I mean, first of all, the actress that plays 11, she is so much more mature. I mean, she's basically a young woman now. She's not like that little kid from season one that had her head shaved. She you can really see what she's gonna look like as a woman. And Will, I mean that kid kid's got to be like 5'10", 5'11" now. He's pretty tall. And yeah, they're always sucking face and just spending way too much time together. And the sheriff is just thinking, what am I gonna do to protect 11 from this kid? This kid is just a horn dog. And you can really see that this is reminiscent of a lot of teenage angst romance movies from the 80s, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High comes to mind. So I'm pretty excited for where that goes. Dustin, now Dustin is my favorite. He's my favorite character from Stranger Things. I mean, the show just wouldn't be Stranger Things without this kid. He is gold. He comes back from science summer camp. His friends are there to greet him. He's so happy. He has this makeshift radio tower he wants to put up that he claims is going to give him the ability to talk to his girlfriend in Utah. And he said, he's like, my girlfriend is Mormon. And his friends are like, what's a Mormon? And he goes, I don't know, just like really religious white people. So that was pretty funny. And none of his other friends believe that there actually is a Susie out there that he's going to talk to, but he claims he's got a girlfriend. So he puts up this pretty cool radio tower. And if you look at the shots of and the camera work of how they filmed the radio tower, it's very reminiscent of ET when Elliot puts up, or I'm sorry, ET puts up the radio tower and Elliot helps him, and you just see like this this really cool homemade radio tower. Karen Wheeler still has the hots for Billy. This is hilarious. So this scene reminds me a lot of Caddyshack. So the pool scene where everybody's like checking out the hot lifeguard, and also the Sandlot from the early '90s. Everybody's checking out the hot lifeguard. So you have all these cougars sitting by the pool, and then you have Billy. He's just kind of like in his broy way walking by, giving girls like the eyebrow and stuff, and these ladies just think he's like a golden god. Pretty funny. Their romance kind of heats up a little bit, and you don't really know at the end of the episode, like are they gonna hook up or not? So that's really interesting. And the end of the so spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear how the episode ends, then stop listening right now and just click subscribe. If you want to hear how it ends, then keep on listening. So Billy is driving to potentially meet up with Karen at a motel for a hookup, and he ends up hitting something while he's driving, and we don't know what it is, but there's slime on his windshield. And then at the very end, he ends up getting dragged into this warehouse. Now, you may ask, what the heck is going on in the warehouse? Well, apparently, there's still like a tear between our dimension and the dimension of the upside down. And that entity that inhabited Will in the previous seasons is able to somehow get through still. And there's a really, really creepy scene where we see like thousands of rats are summoned, almost like they're under some sort of like Jedi mind control to the warehouse. And then all of a sudden they come together and then implode and explode, and their guts all over the place. And it's almost like their guts are going to be used for that entity to be able to come into our realm and manifest in the physical form. So that was really, really interesting. There's also a Russian spy subplot in this. The Russians are trying to open the portal to the upside down to do some of their crazy communist experiments, and so we know somehow that's going to tie into this season. So it's a lot of really, really interesting, Cold War, um, 1980s goodness there, and I am so excited for this season. I honestly think that this first episode in this season is going to be better than season two. Season two was good. Season one, I would give it an A+. Season two, I would give it maybe like a B+. This first episode, if I'm gonna give it rated out of 4 stars, I would give it a 3.5. The only criticism I have, and I hate to be that guy that's just like a hater or whatever, because I'm really not. My main criticism of this episode is when you watch it, almost every single transition into a new scene is transitioned with a hit 80s song. Now, I love 80s songs more than any other decade. So, I mean, I enjoyed that, but after a while, after like the sixth or seventh hit 80s song, it's just kind of like, okay, guys, like I get it. It's the 1980s. These are hit songs. Like, we all love these songs. And it's kind of just like, I don't know. It just kind of, it's like an easy win. It's like, okay, everybody loves these songs. Everybody wants to hear it. I'm going to give it to you. And if they would have done it like maybe 4 or 5 times, but when it's in every single scene, it just becomes a little too much. So we'll see if they keep up with that pattern the rest of the season. Out of 4 stars, give it a 3.5. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I would definitely check it out. I'm going to be doing a recap with even more stuff for episode 2. So come back and subscribe and watch that. And as always, if you want to get future rants, reviews, or original content, click subscribe. Later.